Yeah, spicy part to Aayush kya tha, Nidhi?
Aayush, are we targeting anybody in the winter transfer window? Is there a surprise waiting?
Yes.
In the winter?
The transfer window is in progress, and to talk about it, we have two eminent personalities, as you can see on my screen, Manas Singh and Rithwik. These are the two eminent personalities I'm talking about. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So Manas is with me as always, but we are talking about transfers, not just the winter transfer window, but a lot more, which you'll find out in the course of this video. And to talk about it, we have Rithwik straight from Bristol and Aayush Lala right now from Chandigarh, but soon to go to Michigan. How are you doing, boys?
I'm great. And thanks a lot for inviting me again. Probably it's my third time here. And thanks a lot.
फॉर्मल क्या हो रहा है?
अरे खुशी हो रही है.
Pretty much the same. It's fun to be back on Menace and the Monk, and yeah, I'm doing pretty well here too in Bristol.
Just very happy, guys, that you are here with us once again, despite all the traveling that you do. You guys always support us, so really appreciate it. But let's get started. Enough of greetings. Let's get straight to business, which we don't usually. So Rithwik, another transfer window, and it has come to a point where we know ये तो winter transfer window, इधर तो हम कुछ नहीं करने वाले. Like we have reached that feeling. How does it feel to you?
I mean, I think it's been like 2 seasons since I've completely, moved away from the thought of making transfers. So life's been, easier during transfer windows since then. I don't have any expectations from FSG. I mean, last season we really needed to sign a center back, and I was honestly frustrated that we didn't act early in the window. We waited until the last day, deadline day, to get Ozan Kabak on loan. Since then, I've completely not bothered at all, thinking about transfers. But obviously, summer transfers are very likely to happen. But I don't think we are gonna get anyone in January, and that's something I don't think that even Klopp prefers as much, because he loves his new players to have a proper betting period starting from pre-season and the start of the season as well. So
Ozan Kabak, we signed one more, which everybody forgets about, but we signed one more. Ayush, does it bother you that we are not looking to add players in January? Does it bother you?
To be very honest, it doesn't, because I've been pretty content with it from past 2 transfer windows. Just like Rithwik said, that no one's gonna come in, and I know even if we bring in a player, suppose if we bring in an attacker, I know Klopp wouldn't play him just right away. He'll give him his own time. Probably he'll play him in Feb end or March starting, and I guess that doesn't make any sense, because by Feb we'll get Thiago fit, we'll get Origi fit, and that new player will not get that playing time. So I'm okay with it, to be very honest now. And I know January time is that we'll just we'll see that we will sell those fringe players. That's it.
John Henry, he would be looking at this and going full Indian dad, telling everybody else, why can't you be like him?
But
exactly.
But Nidhi, you and me have had this conversation so many times. You know, we knew that the AFCON is coming. Summer mein pata tha ki AFCON hoga. We'll have to rely on players who we've not seen get a stretch of games together ever. Like after initial season to Divock Origi has never been a regular starter. Minamino to बिचारा जब साला माने भी नहीं है तो Oxlade-Chamberlain started the last game. So like it has reached a point, Minamino, I don't know what he has to do. Nidhi, are we becoming too spoiled in a bad way that we हमारी expectations ही खत्म हो गया? Have you reached that phase where we are like कि हाँ मतलब नहीं होगा कुछ अभी transfer?
Let's see. There is some sort of acceptance in that sense that we know that this is not how we do business. Had we wanted an attacker, we would have probably signed him in the summer, so that during this time we could have gotten him prepared, or a midfielder for that matter. It does annoy me. So my question that I asked to Aayush, it does annoy me, because I think that we don't need a Sancho or a Mbappe, or those transfers will never happen at Liverpool. But I don't think we even need a Vlahovic, like a 60-70 million player. One attacker would have been able to help us. I understand the business limitations, everything, but it does bother me a little bit in the sense that if with one midfielder, and attacker, so I just gave as an example. With one midfielder, we would have been in this title race. True. I personally feel. Now, in terms of major trophies, we have one trophy to play for, and that is the toughest trophy to win in football. So, there is acceptance, but I think we need to thoda, spend at least.
Rithwik, what is lacking in our game, if anything is lacking this season so far?
I think I've been complaining about this on Twitter like every single week. The midfield's been completely shambles in a lot of games this season for us, especially against teams who are like tactically pretty amazing. Brentford in the first game that we played against them away, they pretty much dominated the midfield. They won the first balls, the second balls, and we had no one to actually claim those second balls. Brighton completely outplayed us. We all know how good Graham Potter is and how good a job he's doing at Brighton as well. So they completely managed to outplay us. They even outplayed Chelsea yesterday. So we kind of lack that control in midfield.
Exactly.
I mean, we've seen Thiago miss a lot of games this season. Our tactics has changed quite a bit. We are trying to evolve. That's what Linders and Klopp said before the start of last season, and because of the clusterfuck injuries we had last season, we couldn't really do that. But we are kind of seeing that change, that evolution this season, and the way we play, we attack more, we progress the ball more. We have, with Thiago in the team, we've tried to like diversify our attacks and focus more from the center areas of the pitch as well, because you see Thiago and Fabinho get more narrow pitch with Henderson moving wide, and we have that kind of control in midfield. But without him, it's been very tough for us because there's been a drop in form for Hendo, especially. I think it's not that he isn't trying. I think there's been certain decision-making issues, when to actually track his runner, maybe lack in concentration at times as well. So there are these little factors that's really cost us. But if you look at the numbers, we are one of the best teams in Europe, along with Bayern Munich and Manchester City in league football. Basically, we are on par with these two teams. Chelsea, although they are like pretty close to us in the table, in terms of underlying numbers, they've nowhere been as good as City, Liverpool, or Bayern. So we are doing all the right things, but there's been this little
bit.
That's been really boring.
We'll come to the spicy part with Aayush. Manas, do you think an attacker would have helped us more, or a midfielder? What's your sense?
I think both. We are big enough to strengthen,
Exactly.
We failed to replace. We failed to replace Chini Van Alden. We replaced Shaqiri. And the squad depth has gone down.
Yeah.
So we needed to replace like for like, strengthen. So we should be in a position where a club like Liverpool with Jurgen Klopp and the best defender in the world, the right back in the world,
Best player in the world.
best player in the world, best defensive midfielder in the world, we should be in a position where we strengthen our team. We are not even replacing our outgoings. So I think we should have in an ideal world should have got a midfielder and an attacker, but we failed to do that. Yeah, spicy part to Aayush kya tha, Nitin?
Ayush, are we targeting anybody in the winter transfer window? Is there a surprise waiting?
Yes.
In the winter?
Mo Salah contract deal.
वो भी नहीं होएगा bro winter में.
Even if वो winter में नहीं होगा, but I feel it will be done before the summer window. That's what I feel. See, I know FSG are stupid enough not to invest in winter, not to invest in the previous summer, but they are not stupid enough to let go the best player in the world right now. They also know that he is the best player in the world as of now, and they are the owners and they have the right to negotiate. They'll वो आखिरी end तक जाएंगे just to take that even a small penny out of his contract. They will give him the contract, but yes, it will take its own time, but I feel it'll happen.
Rithwik, are you little nervous about the Mo Salah deal?
I am, to be honest, because if you think about the way Liverpool operate, if we get a good bid from PSG or some other club, I can only think of PSG right now.
Why would PSG bid for him, first of all? Where would he play? Tell me that.
Mbappe would be leaving for Real Madrid, most probably. In that case, they would definitely need to fill an attacker.
Straight up
They would need a
right wing.
right
They
wing.
need someone. No?
So
Like,
they would.
That's
obviously
a
go for Salah.
hypothetical situation, right?
Mbappe is
No,
like
Mbappe
sure.
is leaving.
But
Let's see.
still, so expect a big bid from PSG. Liverpool, honestly, the way they work, they would decide to sell Salah because he just has like 1 year on his deal. If it's a good bid, that is. And we are very smart in the transfer market. And I don't think there is a player in the world who can come in and replace Salah's output. There isn't any at the moment. But if we get more than one player to make up for that, that would be smart, to be honest. So I've been actually thinking about players who we could target and buy to replace Salah, and kind of.
Is there a player which comes to your mind? Because we're talking about transfers, okay? So which is that player or two players?
Probably a bit unrealistic considering how expensive he would be, but Raphinha would be the perfect replacement for Mo Salah. There's no doubt. He would be the perfect replacement, but Leeds would absolutely milk us out. So I think that probably might be rolled out. I have a couple of other wingers in my head, but they aren't really right wingers. So they probably might be a Sadio Mane replacement in the future, or probably an extra attacker. Christopher Nkunku from Leipzig.
Christopher Nkunku.
He's been, I mentioned Nkunku when we discussed about replacing Firmino, probably last.
Yeah, he can play a striker as well.
So he's one of the most versatile footballers in the world right now. He can play center forward. He can play down the wings. He can play as an attacking midfielder. So you don't really know which his best position is, but he's very productive. He has really good output. He is a pretty good dribbler. He is a very active presser too. So we get a complete package in Nkunku. And I was speaking to a Liverpool writer, Ben Bossack. He writes for Liverpool.com. And he was mentioning how Leipzig would probably be interested in, installments, making deal into installments. And that's something that FSG loves doing. So Nkunku could possibly be a really good option, and he is about to enter his peak years. So this is the kind of signing that Liverpool jump on. and it would be somewhere below 50 million as well.
Even Athletic mentioned it that we are monitoring Christopher Nkunku, and I feel maybe we can sign him.
Yeah, he has wonderful technical
technical
ability too.
मेरे को ना थोड़ा चक्कर आ रहा है ये सोच के, not that Raphinha or Nkunku are bad players, but like Salah का replacement we are thinking Raphinha. मेरे को थोड़ा चक्कर आ रहा है ये सोच के.
देख, but जो ऋत्विक ने बोला ना वो बहुत बराबर चीज बोला, like how FSG operates, right? See, we all want Salah to stay. Someone was telling me the other day, or I read something, that if we give Salah the terms that he wants, his wages, blah blah blah, will be 80 million till his contract ends. Okay, something of that sort. And if we look to sign someone, okay, if we sell Salah supposedly, वो 80 million as it is, we'll have to sell, put out money like a Jude Bellingham or something. मैं example दे रहा हूँ. फिर उसके ऊपर उसके wages जो रहेगा suppose 20 million, तो 100 million उधर ही हो गया. But FSG ऐसा नहीं सोचेगा. FSG मालूम है कैसे सोचेगा? FSG सोचेगा मैं अगर 80 million दूँ साला को 5 साल में, मैं उसको बेच के मेरे को 150 million मिलेगा, ठीक है, उसमें मैं 80 million एक प्लेयर को लूंगा और फिर उसको 30 million सैलरी भी दे दूं, 110 million होगा, और वो 5 साल के बाद जूड बेलिंगम will be still 25 years old and Salah will be 34 years old. तो उसका रीसेल वैल्यू 5 साल के बाद तो 30 million में कमाया और फिर 100 million और कमा सकता हूं मैं.
That is true कि everyone
ये जो थिंकिंग है ना वो ये है जो हमें अंडरस्टैंड करनी पड़ेगी.
निधि भाई, even I am at times I'm skeptical कि FSG might sell him, but sometimes I think कि जिस लेवल पे वो प्लेयर है आज के टाइम पे, they also know even when they sell him they can, and काफी चांसेस है कि लिवरपूल स्क्वाड, जो लिवरपूल का आउटपुट है, गोल्स आउटपुट, वो 2-3 साल पीछे जा सकता है. The way we score goals, the amount of goals we score, वो 2-3 साल पीछे आउटपुट जा सकता है. कि एक टाइम ऐसा भी था कि हमारा फ्रंट थ्री मुश्किल से 10 गोल भी नहीं स्कोर करते थे, राइट? दे ऑल्सो नो कि अगर वैसा हुआ तो जो जिस मॉडल पे वो ऑपरेट करते हैं उनका ही लॉस होगा. This is also a chance. That is why I'm a bit positive that this deal can happen.
Nidhi, there are
and Klopp will not let him go.
Sorry, Lala, to cut you short. There are 5 players in the 2023 में end हो रहा है contract, Nidhi, which include our front three, Keita and Chamberlain. Nidhi, will we be looking to sign replacements, or will we be looking to replace 2 of these 3 according to you in summer, or 3 of these 5, so 2 of these 5 or 3 of these 5, or none of them, or give contracts to all? Because that, I think the next transfer window, Nidhi, is going to be very crucial, bro.
Look, honestly, I agree with what Aayush is saying, and मेरे को भी लगता है कि FSG are not stupid to let such a big marketing asset go. What I personally feel, if Salah stays, then Mane leaves, because Firmino, although very, very important to our system, is not as marketable as Mane. So Mane's underlying numbers, even though his output this season has not been great, his underlying numbers have been fantastic.
Exactly.
Right? So I feel that it will be a case of giving Salah a new contract and replacing Sadio Mane. I feel that if Salah gets a contract, then Mane leaves.
To be very honest, I love Sadio Mane, but I feel he can be replaced and Mo Salah cannot be replaced just because of the numbers. That's it. Otherwise, I love Sadio Mane, the way he plays. He's an amazing player, but I feel Christopher Nkunku kind of player can replace him. And maybe,
do you agree with that?
It
is hard to say, but I think Mane is probably quite replaceable at this point of time.
Exactly.
And Nkunku's like we said, he's a really good fit. There is another player who I think we probably might already be keeping tabs on, Kamaldeen Sulemana. He was in the day. Kamaldeen Sulemana is another African player, so he will also probably leave during AFCON future
Can you tell us more about him?
He is a very fantastic dribbler. He was in the Danish Superliga last season at Nordsjælland. So he is a fantastic dribbler. He loves to carry the ball. He has really electric pace as well. And he scored like 4 goals and assisted twice this season in League On in less than 1,000 minutes. I mean, making a move this summer probably might be a little bit early. He's very young. I think he's still just 19 or 20, if I'm not wrong. So making a move this summer probably might be a little early, but I think this is the kind of player that we will be definitely looking at. So if not this summer, we'll go for him possibly next summer. And like Lala said, like you guys said, like Mane is like a very marketable asset, but I've been hearing rumors of uh, Barcelona wanting Firmino in the summer.
Yeah.
So probably if we get a good offer for Firmino, he probably might be the player who will depart, and we might possibly sell Divock Origi as well. So there's a lot of changes that's going to happen in the summer, and I'm not sure if we are really ready for that.
I think emotionally as well, we are not ready for what might happen. Like now there is like Salah ka contract, Salah को दे दिया तो पता चला Bobby चलेगा तो आधे लोग नस काटने शुरू हो जाएंगे. Bobby को भेजना है, कुछ भी हो सकता है.
Everyone is emotionally connected to him.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to see this team disintegrate in a way, but let's talk about the midfield as well, boys, because ये तो आगे की बात हो रही थी. Luis Diaz, by the way, is someone I feel we might sign from Porto. I really like him. But midfield में Nidhi, and then Lala, and then Rithwik. Start with you, Nidhi. Nidhi, do you think? See, I think Naby Keita का तो अभी मतलब मैं. It's just such a shame he started the season so well. I was there, ki, bhai, maybe this is the season Naby Keita, but again, then Thiago is well, like plays, doesn't play, then injured. Milner might be leaving on a free at the end of the season.
Definitely.
Henderson his form is debatable. At the moment, Fabinho is the only player who we can rely on week in, week out in midfield. Are we gonna, according to you, should we look in the summer for a midfielder, bro? Like a proper solid midfielder?
Look, I think we should have, signed a midfielder last season as only. That's my thinking. Look, if you break it down, Fabinho is great, one of the best, defensive midfielders in the world. I would say the best. Then there is Henderson, whose form is dipping, but even if, let's say, Henderson was playing well, then who do you have? Milner is aging. Thiago is hit and a miss. Naby Keita, again, his fitness is a big problem. Oxlade, again, it's an issue, right? Personally, I think that at this point in time, if we, when we are talking about this front three and all, if we get a good offer for Naby Keita, as talented as he is, if let's say we get a 50-60 million offer for Naby Keita, we should look to sell him.
He'll be sold.
Right? I think. Right?
मैं तो 20 में बेच देंगे मेरे को ऐसा लगता है.
हाँ, मतलब बेच तो हम 35 में देंगे, लेकिन मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि मतलब वो तो ऐसे आर्बिट नंबर बोला, 50-60 कोई देगा नहीं. But if we get a good offer for Naby Keita, we should look to move him on. By the way, at the time of recording this video, Naby Keita has played 3 90-minute games in 8 days.
Yes, and he has scored probably. And he has scored a banger in last game.
Personality changed and everything. Oxlade, again, if a club like Newcastle is interested, if a promoted club looks to buy an English midfielder, sell Ox. I think we need major changes in midfield. Front, though, we need some supplementary players. We need to change our midfield. And maybe if we are looking to play in a sort of different way, I think that big shift has to come from midfield. And hence, the components required are to be changed in the midfield. That's my thinking.
Lala, क्या बोलता है?
I personally feel we should have bought a midfielder in summer when Van Aldum left. But at that time, Klopp said Elliott is the guy I'm gonna rely on. But at that point, Shaqiri was also sold. But I was like, at least if Van Aldum is not being replaced, we should go ahead and replace Shaqiri. We might need an attacker in future. But वो भी नहीं हुआ तो, but okay, then cut to now. I think it's like if Fabinho plays good, our midfield plays good. If Fabinho plays bad, we probably lose the match or draw the match. It's like अभी ऐसा situation है कि Fabinho अच्छा खेलेगा तो हम अच्छा खेलेंगे. So I think we need a whole lot of changes in midfield. It's like if Fabinho, I think we should have a backup of Fabinho as well. A player like Zakaria probably, that kind of player, a solid midfielder, just we can rely on. It's like a kind of Genie Van Aldum, who stays fit, who at least we can rely on.
No,
I know a lot of people hate Genie. I don't know why, but he was a reliable person.
100%.
He was a reliable person week in, week out. And yes, we should probably sell Ox and Miller will move on. And probably, as Nitiba said, agar Keita ka offer aayega, I think we will sell him. And I feel summer mein, I personally think there'll not be a huge overhaul in summer. At max, we will sign 2 players. That's what I feel. That's what I feel.
Us,
one midfielder, one attacker. That's what I feel.
Overall.
हमारे लिए दो
And yes, probably पैसा तो आना शुरू हो गया. Nat Phillips would be sold in this transfer window because Rice Williams is being recalled from Swansea.
Yeah.
अच्छा,
So पैसा तो आना स्टार्ट हो गया.
ये अंदर की खबर आ चुकी है कि नैट फिलिप्स जा रहा है.
हाँ, ये अरे मैं कब
नहीं, so Nat का ये rumor नहीं, मतलब we have declined a loan bid from Watford. Neil Jones ने बोला there are concrete offers from or genuine interest from West Ham, Napoli, and one more team.
Even Bundesliga clubs as well.
Yeah, Rithwik, midfield. Before this video drags on way too much than it is supposed to. Fabinho, I agree with the boys. Fabinho is the key over here. But if you look at great midfields, right? When you look at the Busquets, Iniesta, Xavi midfield, when you look at the Casemiro, Cruz, Modric midfield, Casemiro and Busquets are very important. Okay, but there are other components which, are so important, as important as Fabinho. So, as great as Fabinho is, the others are like Thiago is great, but he's never there. Keita is great, he's never there. Henderson is a great leader, but he's not a Iniesta or Xavi. Is the future of Liverpool's midfield going to be based on Harvey Elliott and Fabinho, according to you?
This is probably probably the longest topic that we could discuss, Liverpool's midfield. But I think Harvey Elliott is not necessarily a Wijnaldum replacement as such.
Exactly.
I think he's going to be the one who's going to sideline Jordan Henderson from the team, because Elliott loves moving towards the wider areas and operating in those areas. So he will be a really good asset for us in right center midfield. So so I think he's going to sideline Henderson in the near future. But we definitely need signings. Thiago's signing was a really good one, a smart one, the way the deal was structured and the kind of player he is. But we need players who are available. So in that aspect, it's been that's probably been the biggest negative for us, his availability until now. But if we are looking to sign a player, I think we need to probably get someone similar to Fabinho, because again, he is another player who we can't afford to miss. If we miss Fabinho, we have absolutely no control in midfield. We have no ball winner in the team. And there are a couple of players who would be really nice. Aurelien Tchouameni of Monaco.
And Touche Fami of AS Monaco.
That's what Tchouameni. Yeah, Tchouameni of Monaco. He is a fantastic ball winner. He can win aerial duels. He has strength. He is an amazing player. His interceptions and tackles number is over the roof. He's probably the best in the business in Europe's top 5 leagues at the moment, probably on form maybe. And another good aspect of him is that he can really carry the ball forward. He can dribble past players, and
तो मैट्रिक
when
को नहीं
he,
जाना पड़ेगा.
and when he is like really under pressure, he kind of makes the right decisions too. Sometimes he just passes the ball into a good area. So ball progression, tackling, interceptions, good game reading as well. So he is probably going to be the perfect signing for any club this summer. Chelsea are interested, Real Madrid are interested. If Real Madrid get him, we have Eduardo Camavinga, who I think in the last 2 days someone linked Camavinga with us. I don't know if Madrid would be interested in selling him, but he would again be a very smart option, to be honest. Camavinga, who would be like a very safe passer, and I think he's going to be probably better than Gini in terms of ball progression. Camavinga, so another good option there. But an FSG kind of signing would be Boubacar Kamara from Marseille. So he said he wouldn't be extending his contract at Marseille, and that's the kind of Gini. He's the kind of player who's probably closer to Liverpool version of Gini Wijnaldum. He loves these safe passes, recycling the ball very often. He is not very strong, but he can pass the ball around, keep it safe, and his ball winning is also pretty okay. His passing range has kind of improved this season, so he is probably going to be the perfect fit in terms of, I mean, in financial terms for FSG and Liverpool, and he's going to come on a free transfer. So there's going to be a good competition for him.
उतना भी टाइम चिंदी नहीं होगा.
but
Camavinga we can buy. We will spend money on a younger player. That's true. But to spend money on a younger player, मतलब ठीक है चिंदी है, but उतना भी चिंदी नहीं है. To be very honest, that's what I feel. And to be very, and in my opinion, if we have to win the league, the year we won the league, we almost always had control in midfield. And this season, हम जीत सकते थे league. The reason we didn't, because our midfield was distorted. कभी मतलब the matches we drew, midfield में there was zero control. So we need a good midfielder and a good attacker like Christopher Nkunku or any other like Raphinha. ये दो signings भी अगर आती हैं, and Mo Salah's contract extension, I think we are good to go. To be very honest, we are good to go for the next season.
Manas, talking about contract extensions, there was one quote, and I will quote it, and that gives me a little bit of hope. Jurgen Klopp said that the book is far from being completed. When he said that, that gave me a little hope that maybe, just maybe, Klopp may extend beyond 2024.
Yes.
तेरे को ऐसा लगता है?
I hope, bro. I mean, and this is not me whining over here, but if there is anyone who can work with these owners, and I'm not cribbing about the owners, they are smart owners, not very gracious when it comes to giving money, but they're smart owners.
Exactly.
But there is no manager in world football, top level manager, who can get the job done like Jurgen does. Like there's no one. There's absolutely no one. So I hope he stays. Nidhi, I just wanted to ask you a question, because you and me have been shut for some time, and rightly so, because they are our guests over here. Nidhi, but FSG की बात करते हैं. FSG now is expanding Anfield again. Okay,
Right.
The expansion is happening. So they did a great job in renovating it, making it a 53,000 capacity. Now apparently it's going to be 60 plus.
68,000, I think.
Sorry?
68,000, I think.
60 plus, 65, whatever. They invested 20 million in the AXA training academy. We are seeing younger players play in our team. Neco Williams. We are seeing Tyler Morton get games. We saw Kate Gordon score a goal. Do you think this is genuinely now leading towards us becoming a self-sufficient club, where, these conversations about us signing 50-60 million players is something which we will do? Okay, we'll do. ऐसा नहीं कि it will never happen, but it will not be a priority. We will be looking. अभी तो Chelsea का academy देख now, they're selling players who've played 3-4 games for 20 million, 25 million, and that is how they funded all these Hakim Ziyech,
Yes.
Lukaku, Werner, blah blah blah. Like they are very self-sufficient. So do you think that is a model that FSG is now looking at and being like, okay, I mean, we'll spend 50 million once in a while, but let's grow players, man. Let's come up with 5 new Curtis Jones in the next 5 years, sell them, get 80 million. हाँ तो 80 million वो खर्चा कर.
Look, I think definitely this is the case. I personally don't agree with the sentiment that they built a training facility, expand kiya to kya hua. These things help the team,
Yeah.
right? Building a new stand, extending capacity helps the club. So ऐसा नहीं है कि they are just doing it for the sake of it. I think that is definitely.
Shows Nidhi, they are in it for the long term.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, honestly, that is going to be the case. If we are producing, these academy talents, not all of them will continue to be good enough to play for us. Some of them will go away. But like you said, wo jo paisa hai, for example, that 50, 60, 80 million, whatever that has to come, it has to come from certain sales. And, we will not find a Coutinho all the time to fund. I mean, although I don't think Coutinho was sold specifically so that we could buy Van Dijk and Alisson, we would have bought them anyway. The money was available incidentally. But I think that is the model that the owners definitely want us to move into. It's also something that will not get them into trouble later on with FFP and all those things. The other aspect of it, which I don't think is true, is thinking that okay, they might be looking to sell. I don't think FSG are looking to sell as yet. I think they are in it for the long terms. Some parts of it are quite painful, but it is what it is.
Lala,
Exactly.
are you happy with FSG?
It's like अपने यूनिवर्सिटी प्रोफेसर का ओपिनियन मांग रहे हो आप. It's like you're happy with it or not. It is what it is, right?
इस केस में तू प्रोफेसर है कि स्टूडेंट है?
Yeah. At times I'm frustrated ki why aren't we buying players like in summer? Agar we would have bought a midfielder and attacker, probably the scenario would be different. We could be on the first position and City would be on the second one. But if we but वो नहीं हुआ. Okay, and I'm kind of content with it because अगर मैं उतना frustrated होता रहूंगा, I'll not be able to focus in my real life, right? मैं अपना काम नहीं कर पाऊंगा.
Liverpool is real life, brother.
That is true.
Make believe football club. Huh?
That is true. That is my real life. But वही ना कि
I get what you say.
But yes, when you see the way they operate, they have a long-term vision. They have their own right. At the end of the day, they are the owners of the club and they are the owners of $1 billion business. इतना बड़ा business बनाया. At least they have some sense, right? ठीक है. At the end of the day, हम एक politician को बोलते हैं इसने ऐसे नहीं किया, इसने ऐसे नहीं किया. एक cricketer को बोलते हैं इसने ये shot नहीं खेला, वो shot नहीं खेला. तो हम भी बोलेंगे owners को ये नहीं किया, वो नहीं किया. अब जो उनके हिसाब से जो सही होगा, they'll do that, right? But yeah, at times I'm frustrated कि we could have bought players in summer and the scenario would be different, but nahi hua to there's no point in whining over it. Just like Klopp says ki there's a lot to play for it. I believe in this squad, and to be very honest, FSG ko main itna dhyan deta hi nahi. I prefer believing in Klopp and the team. And the time Jordan Henderson का scenario आया था कि probably he's moving on, मतलब 24 hours में तो उसको Atletico Madrid भेज दिया था reporters ने कि वो तो मतलब चले गया. तो but what Klopp said कि it will happen. Klopp ने एक comment दिया था कि proper it will happen. He said that कि we are working on it, and Jordan Henderson signed a contract within 1 or 2 weeks. वैसे ही Klopp से Salah के बारे में पूछा था, and he said everyone knows what Klopp said, right? So that's why I'm also positive about it that Salah's contract extension will also happen. a manager will never let go of his star player. He knows the amount of value Salah brings. So I know, and everyone knows, Thiago signing is not kind of FSG signing, right? That was demanded by Klopp. Everyone knows that. So at the end of the day, it's like give and take relationship. FSG has some set of rules. Klopp works according to that, and if Klopp demands something, FSG provides them, because they know कि
So
उसने इतना कुछ लाके दिया है इस क्लब को, we need to support him at times. But yes, they are rigid, तो थोड़ा दर्द होता है, but ठीक है, सह रहे हैं, क्या कर सकते हैं.
Rithwik, just to end the video, do you think FSG owes us a good transfer window?
Like Lala, I think you guys summed up everything properly. Like, and also Nidhi Bhai said how FSG is like. I mean, just not. I mean, if you just remove transfers out of the equation, they've done pretty much everything. Like they've expanded Anfield. The work they've done to integrate the youth and the senior team with the new training facility, that was outstanding. Because Abhi, if you see our youth academy, if you look at the past, we had a Gerrard, a Carragher, and a Michael Owen, a Raheem Sterling come out at some point of time. It used to be like one player, a Trent at some time. Now we have the likes of Curtis Jones, Tyler Morton. I think Tyler Morton is definitely going to be staying as a backup for a pretty long time, or he might be sold for a decent amount. And we had like Nico Williams, who's been a pretty decent backup for us for Trent. Queemin Kelleher, who's been a really amazing deputy. Kate Gordon was an amazing snap up from Derby County. He's going to be a really amazing player for us in the future. We've kind of strengthened the youth system. If you look at Chelsea's youth system at Cobham, they're extremely well run, and it's not something that happened like over the stretch of 2 years. It's spanned over a long period. So similar with Arsenal as well, they have a fantastic academy, Hale, and if we manage to reach those levels, or probably closer to those levels, that would be extremely amazing, because we would have players from our youth academy that we could bring. Imagine us. I mean, Frank Lampard literally built his Chelsea team based on Chelsea's youth, and the players that they've sold for 20 million, Mark Gahey, Fikayo Tomori, they sold for 20 million because those players were actually worth that much. Because you can see how good Mark Gahey has been for Crystal Palace, how good Fikayo Tomori has been for AC Milan.
Gallagher is well.
Conor Gallagher, Tony Livramento for Southampton. Livramento basically said that I wouldn't have like a chance here at Chelsea, so I want to leave permanently. That's why he left for Southampton. Tariq Lamptey, again, another player. So if we have players of that quality, we should definitely use our youth. I mean, the primary thing should not always be to get players from outside. That's what Klopp also insisted when he came, I mean, at the club. He said he would like to see a lot more Scousers in the team in the future. So that's something that I think FSG, Klopp, and the whole backroom staff has very well worked on it. And in terms of owing us a transfer window, good transfer window at this point of time, yes, because we are in need of one, in dire need of one, because the squad is probably on the wrong end in the age cycle. I mean, most players are past their peaks at the moment, and we definitely need the building blocks, to be honest, the future spine of the team to be bought right now and integrated properly. Abhi, we have like 2 more years of Klopp until his contract expires. It's 2022 already. I hope he extends, but who knows? If he isn't planning to extend, I think he's going to bring in players thinking about the future, because he is that kind of a person. He isn't selfish. He would want the club to flourish as well. So he would possibly try to bring players who would be quite versatile, who would quite fit in different tactical setups as well. So I think FSG owes us a decent transfer window. I don't want them to buy like 5-10 players out of the blue and spend 50 million on every single player. No, but probably an Nkunku somewhere, maybe someone, a cheap option like Boubacar Kamara, who would be a fantastic signing. So players like that would be really good in the summer, I feel.
I think we all feel that defensively we are sorted for the time.
Yeah.
Midfield and attack is the only place where we need to strengthen. Nidhi, let's end the video. But just one word answers from you, okay, which will be a number. How many players, Nidhi, in the summer will leave for everyone? Huh? How many players will leave and how many will be signed? Whoever wants to go first can go first. I'm talking about first teamers, which will include the likes of Milner, Origi. Origi will be on a free, Milner will be on a free. Keeping all that in mind, I will go for it first. You guys can think about it. Milner is going, Origi is going, one of either Ox or Naby Keita is going, and I fear one of the front three is going. I think we will let go of four
Of
players
Origi?
will अभी माने नहीं ओरिगी तो जा ही रहा है. I'm thinking माने या फर्मिनियो में से एक. I'm assuming. So that's the front three: Origi, Milner, and Ox and Naby में से एक. So 4 I'm going safe, not including Nat Phillips. I think we'll sign 2 or 3 because we will utilize Harvey Elliott more, Curtis Jones more. I think 2 will sign. Let go of 4 or 5 and sign 2. But I hope those 2 are big players, like experienced players in their prime. Who wants to go first? Lala.
Uh, Milner will leave, and Ox will leave, and I think Origi will leave. I think that's it, to be very honest. And Nat Phillips will leave in Jam, and I guess we will buy a midfielder and or a Jota kind of signing, probably Nkunku or Raphinha. That's what I feel. That's it. 2 signings.
2 signings.
I don't think so. Either Mane or either Firmino will leave. I think they'll stay.
Rithwik, you want to go for it?
And more signs a contract as well.
Yeah, let's hope that's very important. Huh, Rithwik?
I mean, considering Salah signs the contract, I'll say Milner, Origi. If we get a decent offer for Minamino, I think we might offload him.
Minamino, yes. I think I also think he will be sold.
And because we can probably use Harvey Elliott across the front three if we want, so he's probably versatile in that sense. And maybe Klopp might try to give Kate Gordon more minutes in the Carabao Cups and FA Cups and stuff like that. So probably to manage the minutes for front three. So Minamino, Origi, Milner, either Ox or Naby Keita. I think Naby Keita might fetch more value because I think he's still pretty solid player. He's gotten a bit slow, probably a bit defensive about his body because I don't see him like rushing into challenges these days. He is quite protective, but he also brings pretty much decent balance to the midfield. So I think he would play that many clubs would love having in their team. So if you get a decent offer for him, Keita probably might be the person to go. As much as I love him, I wouldn't mind letting him go for a decent amount and getting another good player in. So 4 of them, and I don't know. I think it probably might be Bobby who might depart because I think Barcelona might try and swoop in for him. So yeah.
So
5 players
finally,
off and 3 players in my honest opinion. A left winger or someone across the front three, a midfielder, possibly a backup for Trent if Nico Williams leaves.
yeah.
Otherwise, probably 2 or 3 signings incoming. That's it.
Nidhi, do you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, you guys have summed it up. I think that apart from the players, I mean, of course, certain ones like Milner, Origi, I think Naby Keita or Ox, depending on the offer that we receive, will leave. I have a hunch, and this is not based in any logic. I have a feeling Mane will leave in the summer. In terms of incomings, I think two, one in midfield and one in attack is what we will be looking at. And the rest, like you say, Harvey Elliott, Neco Williams, Kate Gordon, Tyler Morton, these guys will fill in. That's my sense, but again, that's just a hunch.
Yeah, so even when in our predictions, it's rather underwhelming. क्या होगा ट्रांसफर विंडो में, कहाँ हम लोग मस्ती करते थे एम्बापे के बारे में, बट औकात यह है कि शायद से मीनो को भी बेचने पड़े अपने को. But guys, this was it. This was a long one, but it was thoroughly a video which I enjoyed talking with Rithwik and Aayush. Gents, thank you so much for taking out time. We know that you guys are in different parts of the world now. We really appreciate your support, constant support. So yeah, this was Menace and the Monk. Please do like, comment, and subscribe to us.